Hey, welcome back to the Maguire Motorsports YouTube channel. We're down here in the lower shop tonight, working a little more on this F100 project. You can see back here in the background. Tonight what we're working on is just a little bit of assembly of the cylinder heads. We already bolted them onto the block, as you've seen in the last video, or maybe a couple back. And I'll flip around here and you guys can kind of see what Dad's working on. So you can see right here, he's basically just installing the rocker arms that bolt up into the top of the cylinder head. You can see he's carefully inspecting each piece as he puts them on. He's got this side already just finger tightened down. You can see there's two for every cylinder if you don't know. One of them will be for an intake side, and one of them will be for an exhaust side. It's like on this particular cylinder, this one right here will be the intake. The easiest way to tell is just the fact that it's really close proximity to the intake port right here. Okay, this one will be for the exhaust side, which is pretty easy to tell because it's basically straight in line with the exhaust port. If you don't know much about the way an engine works, let me try to explain that a little bit. Of course, we have the crankshaft right here that's connected to the pistons that run up this way. Okay, you guys seen us install all that. It's tied to the camshaft that you seen us install in one of the previous videos, which goes right here through the engine block. And it's tied to it through these timing gears and this chain that connects the gears. Okay, to kind of show you a little closer what a camshaft looks like, I have the old one laying out here that I can show you. You can see that's got these different lobes on it. As you rotate it around, they pop up like one at a time. They're sort of oblong shaped. These perfectly round ones are basically what holds it into the engine block.
Cam bearings, right?
Yeah, it's the cam bearings. It rests on the cam bearings. Now, you guys see us install these lifters during one of the last videos, which are like this item right here. Okay, and you can see how this one's sticking up, whereas this one over here is down in the lifter bore. The reason that is this one is riding up on one of the lobes. Now, the camshaft is turning, and these lobes are, bouncing up and down with these lifters. And those lifters, they're called a lifter for a reason. Basically, you take one of these push rods. They'll go through one of these holes through the cylinder head here, and they go down and rest in that little indentation in the lifter. Now, once you bolt a rocker arm on, which like how this one is, this would be in the rocker arm. There's a little indentation in the rocker arm right here. So that push rod, I'll show you back on this side, is going up and down like this with the lifters that's riding on the cam. It's pushing this rocker up on this top side, which it's basically a big lever. This side goes down and pushes the valve down into the cylinder. And if it's this side that's being activated at the time and pushed down the valve, it's sucking in air through the intake and the carburetor and fuel. If it's this side that's being activated, it's sucking the combusted fuel and air out of the cylinder and through the exhaust port and on out through the exhaust of the vehicle. Now, I know that's pretty technical, but I mean, a lot of people maybe enjoy watching some of these videos, but they've never really done a lot of work on the engine, so that's basically just a review of how that works. Coming up next, after we get these rocker arms installed, we'll go through and we still have to paint the engine block. I have this engine paint here. I need to check the numbers on it. It does. It says the old Ford blue on it, so maybe we don't need to check the numbers. So we'll put this paint on. I got a few items I need to mask off. Really, when you're painting the engine block, you don't want it to be on any area that's going to seal a gasket. So where the timing chain cover bolts right here, you want to leave that just with the bare cast iron to get the best seal. That's because if you get in real close, you can see some of these textured marks. You would think you'd want that to be real smooth, but you want that little bit of texture for the gasket to bite into and seal better. This area right here, where the distributor rests, you don't really want no paint in that area. Because for one, you don't want to make it difficult for the distributor to move, or for flakes of paint to go down in the engine. And also, there's a gasket there to keep oil from pumping up out of there. Of course, down in the lifter area, you don't want any paint. Right here where the intake gaskets will seal, you don't want any paint. Just for us, because we want to make everything look nice, you've probably seen in previous videos we have these brass freeze plugs. We don't want to get any paint on them because we think that matches with this new oil pan pretty well. We will go through and run some tape here to where the oil pan won't get any paint on it. As we get the timing chain cover cleaned up, hopefully we won't have to paint it. Hopefully it looks good enough in bare aluminum. So we won't paint it, we'll just have it the bare aluminum. We also have all the pulleys here. This is one of the old transmission mounts. But these pulleys, you can see they're just dirty and crusty. I'll probably sandblast them and give them a shot of nice black paint again. The exhaust manifolds, they're just bye-bye for now. We have those headers over there in the other garage that I showed you. And then of course we got our timing chain cover here. Like I said, I hope that it'll just clean up real good with a sandblast. But that's basically where we're at on this engine for right now. So I'm gonna get off here and try to help the old man out a little bit. We'll try to get the GoPro fired up so you guys can get a little time-lapse footage of us working. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you got any questions, just hit us up in the comments. We'll try to get on there and respond to them. But thanks for watching. Alright guys, so we're back. You can see now all the rocker arms are installed. Got 8 on this side, 2 per cylinder. Got our 8 over on this side. You guys can see right now Dad is using his well calibrated elbow torque wrench to get these down. He said they're supposed to go down to about 20 foot-pounds, which, you know, I mean, it's always good to use a torque wrench, but he's done this so many years that he really does know about where 20 pounds is. So that's where we're at right now. Keep watching. Alright guys, so right now Dad's got his bottle of assembly lube. You can see he's just real liberally pouring it all across every lifter where it makes contact with the push rod. Definitely don't want a dry startup on any engine. Okay. There it goes. He's just letting it run right down the push rod down to the lifter. He's coming up to each of these rocker arms, pouring it right in, right where the push rod comes up and meets the rocker arm.
And this engine will be pre-primed.
Yeah, absolutely. Before you start any engine, even the race engine over in the race car, and we'll do a separate video on that later because it's getting pretty close to race season. We'll pull the distributor out and prime the oil pump in it before we start it for the year because it's set since probably October now without being started. So it's always a good idea to prime the engine. You can see he's getting, not only is he getting right here where the push rod comes up and makes contact, he was coming down here where the rocker arm bolts down, that pivot point. It's good enough just to sort of lay it on top there because there's so many access holes throughout these rocker arms that the lubrication will make its way through. Matter of fact, there's even, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a small hole right there in that little ball area where the push rod sits. So when he was just pouring it right there on the top of the rocker arm, it works its way down in there. Matter of fact, before we pulled this engine out, we primed the oil pump where it had sat for so many years. And it had, I mean, you could see where the oil was literally pumping up through. I probably should have showed you, but there's a hole that goes all the way through these push rods. And you can sit and watch as you turn the oil pump. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see that little dot in that little center circle right there. It's a hex head on this engine. I just put a drill on it, turned it, and it'll pump up. You could watch it with the valve covers off, pump up through the push rod, come out this little hole that I was talking about here, run down over the bolt, and back down over the back side of the valve to lubricate the valve stem right here where it contacts the rocker arm as well. Engines are very simple, but at the same time they're extremely neat and well designed. So, this is where we're at for now. We'll keep on working and see what else we can get done, and we'll let you guys know along the progress along the way. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, we're checking back in with you. This is going to be second or third part of the video I'm trying to put together now. And what it is we're doing a couple little things each evening, so it's going to be 2 or 3 evenings of working to get that put together one video right now. But on the last video we showed you we was putting the rocker arms on and the push rods, basically assembling the Valvetrain is what you call it. So tonight Dad worked a little bit on his own. I had some other stuff going on, but he went in, masked all the engine up, and got to paint a little bit on it. It looks really good. So I thought I'd show you guys a little bit about how it looks now. So I'll go ahead and flip this around and let you take a look. Okay, so right here's the engine. You can see it's got the Ford blue on it now. Looks real nice. He went ahead, put in our stainless steel studs and nuts that'll hold the headers on. What we talked about the other day, you know, we installed the rocker arms, the push rods that go down to the camshaft and the lifters. So that was done. You've probably seen in the first section of this video. We got the distributor hold down stud right here, nut. Let's see what else. Of course, you know, the same stainless studs right there. Valve cover studs. We did order a set of valve covers last night, so they should be coming in. This is Wednesday, maybe Thursday or Friday is what we're looking at getting those in. But I think the blue looks really good. Again, the valve covers though that we ordered, just a polished cast aluminum. I think it'd look nice. But the engines look a lot better with that nice fresh blue paint on it. Dad done a real good job on it. What we was talking about with the freeze out plugs on the side of the block, they come in this brass finish. You can see there. So, you know, we made sure and match those off. And it actually matches really good with the, let me back up a little bit, with the oil pan. So that, you know, kind of plays off each other. So it's going to be a very nicely well detailed engine. I'm really liking it so far. So hopefully it runs as good as it looks and we'll be in real good shape. Now, what I want to do, just to get an idea of how everything's going to look, I'm going to take the polished intake we got. We'll set it down on top. But the first thing I need to do is go through and remove all these bolts that hold the intake down, because again, we're not going to bolt it down tight. Dad was just doing that to try to get them up out of the way. So 1 second, and we'll show you how it looks with the intake sitting on it. Alright guys, so that's the way it's going to look when we get the intake on it. By the time we get the cast aluminum polished valve covers on there to match, tie in really well with the intake. The distributor, which is here on the front of a small block Ford, it's sort of a polished out aluminum look too, so it's all going to match. The timing chain cover is going to be just a bare aluminum. It'll all end up tying in together. So I think it's going to look really, really nice. That stud kit I bought off of eBay, it's got the studs and nuts here for the carburetor already. We'll probably I'm not sure what kind of carburetor we'll run yet. We've not really decided. Of course, we'll probably end up buying something used if we can, or maybe like a refurbished Holly factory piece. But I think it's going to look really good when it's all said and done. Again, we got these nice stainless Allen head bolts that go in, so they'll sit in like this, and again, it'll all be nice, detailed out, look really, really good in there. So, I just wanted to take a few minutes tonight while I didn't get any work myself done. Dad got a little bit accomplished, and I wanted to let everybody see. So, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd like to see some comments. What do you guys think about what we're doing so far? Also, maybe some other ideas for videos you guys would like to see. Got a few things planned. Again, it's about race season, so hopefully we'll be getting some videos of the race car up and going, getting it prepared for the race season, and getting it back out of its winter hibernation. So, upcoming videos on the old F100. I think the next thing we'll be doing just on the truck itself after we get this engine finished will be pulling all the front end off. Start tackling the cab supports. Got some floor pan repairs to do. We talked about possibly even pulling the whole cab off the frame to access the floor pans better. And that'll give us good opportunity to clean the frame from the bed forward and get it all painted. That way we can do what we need to do on the cab while it's off, and then do the same with the bed, put the cab back on, pull the bed. I can paint from the frame from the cab back, and do what we need to do on the bed, which there's really not any body work on the bed to be done. So that's where we're at. Again, I'll probably will come down and work tomorrow night, or the next available night we're able to come down and work. I'll bring you guys along, see what we're into next. It'll probably be installing valve covers. May go ahead and bolt the headers on it, dropping distributor in maybe, and timing chain cover. And I'll probably do a video cleaning up all the front accessories, timing chain cover, all that stuff, and getting them refurbished a little bit to just look better on the engine. They're in good working order, but just want to make them look better. I think it'll be a pretty nice little truck. But there'll be the home for it when it's all said and done. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night. Alright guys, we're back down here in the shop right now. We're not getting a whole lot done tonight. I've got to get the sandblaster set up before we can finish out the timing chain cover. But I want to show you what we're up to. We had a shipment come in today from Summit Racing. So we got our valve covers in. And really we just want to see what they look like on there real quick. So when I flip you around here, we got Dad down here working with us tonight. I showed you guys in the video I took last night that'll probably be part of this video though, about the paint job he's done on the engine block. Looks real good. But he's just laying these cork gaskets on here. This is just what come in the rebuild kit, and actually a little nicer gasket than what I realized. I like the little metal O-rings they got that goes over the stud there. I don't know if you can see that or not. That'd be real good so you don't compress it too much, I guess. But right here we have our valve covers that come in. They're a Speedmaster brand from Summit Racing. They were fairly affordable for such a nice looking pan. But you can see there, I think that looks really good. Nice full polished piece, cast aluminum. They already got the breather holes drilled into them. They actually come with the hardware kit. However, we already had this
baffle you put in there.
stud kit. They got some baffles that look like they can be put in there. I believe it's actually a pretty nice kit for the money. And then Pat's going to lay the passenger bank valve cover on. I mean, that
PVC goes in here?
Yep, got a spot for the PVC valve. Spot over here for the oil fill. It didn't come with the grommets for them, but that's okay. I mean, that's an easy enough item to get your hands on. But I think that's going to look really nice. I posted a picture last night on Instagram of the intake setting on the block, but now that we got the valve covers on, we're wanting to just set the intake back up there and see what it looks like. So we'll go through real quick and pull these intake bolts out. Okay. Dad's gonna grab the intake we got laying right over there.
We just want to mop it up and not put no gasket on that.
No, we're just mocking up for now. No gaskets. We've not even got the valve covers tightened down. We're just really wanting to see what everything looks like all together. And I gotta say, for a cheaper intake, this is a very nice fitting piece. You can see, I mean, the bolt holes line up just as soon as you set it on there. I'm used to a Pontiac to where a lot of times you have a little bit of fitment issues with the aftermarket intake manifold. And these, where the bolts go straight down through the manifold, is pretty nice, whereas a Pontiac will go at a angle into the head. So overall, you can see what we're working with here. That is going to be a really, really nice piece. Once we get between the frame rails of the bump side, we'll be doing real good. Like I say,
These use washers. I believe they do.
I'll have to look in that bolt kit to see if they do.
I thought might be too short.
It didn't really go down there very deep, did it?
No.
We'll look
You
at it.
got the gasket on it.
Yeah. But we still have to go in and put the timing chain cover on. But before I do that, I did have the new fuel pump eccentric. I know I showed you the one in the last video that was kind of pitted. We bought a brand new fuel pump eccentric. I need to get the sandblaster set up. We'll get it all cleaned up, looking real nice. That way it'll be just a bare aluminum piece on there. The distributor we have, I know I've mentioned before, but it's a aluminum piece. It's I wouldn't really call it polished, but it's a nice looking piece. Should be real nice on there. So
We got us a brand new carburetor here, but it's not gonna fit.
looks like half of it's
Carburetor won't
missing.
fit. I got a friend in need of one. I may just have to sell this at a reasonable fee to George Emery.
There you go.
Mr. Emery's in need of one of these, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Alright guys, so as you can see, the 351's coming along nicely. I have to look, see how much footage we have. We may go ahead and make this a video and end it off here. Of course, if there's more after this, you'll know that we decided to put a little more with it. So, thanks for watching. Good night.